low post, mid post, high post, post game sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Post Game Sports in conjunction with the WTP Sports Dudes. Make sure y'all smash that like button coming in. It helps us out tremendously. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I got some very special guests with me. I got the legendary Mr. Robert Brown, the living legend. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Listen, retirement. Last day with those children, 34 years in, retirement is starting to feel good already.
Hey man, I gotta ask you, man, because I gotta salute that you've been at the same place for 30, almost 35 years,
Almost 35 years, yes, sir.
bro. That is amazing. I'm pretty sure you got a book of stories to tell, through your journey. But is there anything that sticks out to you, with this being your last day and you retiring over that time span?
I mean, there's a whole lot of memories, man. But the one thing I'm going to mention is my grandson was in my class in my last year of teaching, bro. I had my grandson in my pre-K class, and that was unbelievable, bro. For him to be able to code switch from Paw to Mr. Brown, Paw after school, Mr. Brown during the school day was phenomenal to see a four-year old do that, man. And everybody was like, "What? How does he do that?" And it's like, whenever I was at school, I was Mr. Brown. Whenever outside of school, I was Paw.
That's amazing, bro. That's an intelligent child. So I mean, I seen the video of you walking out and everybody clapping it up for you. Uh, I heard also, I'm just gonna try to confirm this with you, that they had some, ladies pop out of a giant cake for you.
No, nah, that's one of those myths. That did not happen, folks.
Man, I was
Man,
honestly gonna say I did not see that one. That snuck up on me, man.
yeah, that did not happen, folks. Don't mind me. But anyway, man, salute to you, man, and I'm excited to see what you get into in this next chapter of your journey, my man. I know it's gonna be a lot of hot content, but we also got my main man, Mossberg of Level Up Sports 10. How you doing this evening, homie?
Man, I'm thankful, feeling good, man, and just want to double back, man, on what you speaking on retirement, man. Seeing Unc retire after all these years, like you said, legendary, man. It's just been a great thing watching you, Unc, over all these years do what you do. 30 years out of school where I was 8 years old and I went to. So it's something special, like you said, having that grandson go from Paw to Mr. Brown. I think it's just the passing of the torch. I think he's following in some great steps, and it's just a great thing seeing what you've done over these years. And when I was thinking about it, I said, man, we need to have some kind of celebration throughout the city, throughout the state, because a lot of people fail to realize that the lives that you've definitely touched over this 30-year history of what you've done in that building at the Windsor. Not only that you worked at, but you went there as a kid and ran around in that backyard or playground. So hats off to what you've done to the community, and you continue to be great and a trailblazer in every way. I look up to you. I'm sure many others do. And just keep on doing what you do, man, because we see you if don't nobody else do. I know I do, for sure.
I
And
appreciate
this,
that, Mossberg.
yeah, 100%, man. You deserve all that more, my man. Uh, let's salute these fine gentlemen. some of the greatest, and I mean greatest sports analysis that you will find across YouTube. Oh man, it's starting to heat up. We're starting to get into the dog days of summer. It's a lot of sports content. It's a lot of sports news going on. And we'll jump it off just like this. Let's start with the NBA, fellas. It's been an interesting conference finals with the Knicks sweeping OKC up 3-2 against San Antonio with game 6 tonight. So I'm gonna start with SGA. And I'm gonna start with you, Rob. Do you think back-to-back MVP SGA is great at drawing fouls, or is he great at flopping?
You know, whenever the rules are what they are, he's just playing within the rules of the game, man. I think he's just a very intelligent basketball player who understands that, listen, this is how the game is played. This is one of the rules. This is a way you can get to the free throw line. I don't see anything wrong with it, man. It's not like he's out there, you know, falling all over the court as if there is no contact at all. I think he's just playing within the landscape of the game and the rules. So I don't have a problem with it. I don't think he's flopping at all. I think he's playing within the rules. And we've seen players do that over the years that we've been watching the game of basketball. If you get a guy off balance, you go ahead and make that contact so that you can get to the free throw line.
Man.
Yeah, strong points, my man, and I'm with you on that. But let's Mossberg, what's your thoughts on that, man?
It's being a basketball player, it's tough to say he's flopping. I kind of agree with what Unk's saying. He's taking what the league is giving you, taking his IQ, combining that, and putting it together in a master class and being able to do these things. We don't honestly know how, you know, the size of these players, what their body type is, how physical it really is. We only seeing it from the TV. We not up close. So some calls, they can look kind of iffy, some not. But at the same time, I think he's just doing what's in the means of what they're given as far as in reps to do.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with y'all, man. I think that SGA is on his way, if not already there, to being one of the disrespected champions and MVPs, you know, amongst that crowd of hoopers. Well, I gotta take a second because we just got one take Zaya in the building. How you feeling tonight, homie? One take Zaya.
What's up? What's up with the guys? I'm sorry, man. My mute button wasn't coming off. But what's up with the guys, man? Y'all look like some good black men on the screen, man. What's up with y'all?
I'm feeling good, man. Feeling great, man.
Oh, it's all gravy, man. We was just shouting out Rob, you know, on his great journey, you know, and making it do what it do up here, baby. So
Yeah,
I'm
dog
go ahead.
definitely deserve his flowers, man. You know what I mean? 35 years strong in the Windsor Film Academy, you know what I mean? Hey, he go so far back with it that, you know, my girlfriend, she got her confidence from him. You feel me? She talk about it all the time, you know. So he done really touched generations out here for real with that. So big ups to you, big homie.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
100%. So one take. Do you think back-to-back MVP SGA is great at drawing fouls, or is he great at flopping?
See, I think it's a little bit of both. I think, you know, he played within the rules for sure, and I think he rage bait some of them fouls, but I think he also crafty too. Some of them be fouls for real, like, and he created, but he got times where he be flopping, bro. It's times where he don't even get touched and he sell that call. So it's just a little bit of both for me. Now, do I think am I okay with the half that is flops? Nah, I'm not cool with that because I think he's too great. I think he's too great of a player to, you know, just to be fishing out certain calls that he do. But that flopping is a part of the game now, man. People gotta adjust.
Yeah, for sure, man. And you make really good points as well. My thing is like, is there flopping in the NBA? Absolutely. SGA damn sure is the only player taking advantage of that. But I think, like you said, the word crafty, I think he's an extremely crafty player. That's what makes SGA what he is. But I mean, the referees don't have to blow their whistle, correct? That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's egregious like a lot of people are talking about. I just think he's a crafty player and he's taking advantage of the rules and the referees. It is what it is. Anybody got any closing thoughts on that? No?
Uh,
So, oh, go ahead, Moss.
I was just gonna say, shout out to Papa Whip, man, that birthed a great, and who we have hosting the show today, man. We appreciate you tuning in, as well as Jet Life as well.
Yeah, shout out to the chat, man. We appreciate y'all to the fullest. I'm gonna start with you on this, Moss. Spurs are in a must win tonight. Do you have OKC closing them out on the road?
Nah, man. When you got a 7-4 giant like Wembenyama, we just know the type of games he's had so far. We know he's a game changer. I think he's changing the game tonight. Just on the defensive side, we know what he could do offensively. I think he changed the game from the defensive side, and the Spurs team collectively gets this great Game 6 win tonight, and it goes to 7. I just think Wembenyama is going to show us that defensive prowess tonight.
Okay. So you got the Spurs winning this one.
Yes, sir. Spurs in 6.
What you got on this, Zayski? Want to take you there? No. What you got on?
Oh yeah,
There?
I'm here. My bad. I thought I hit unmute. But yeah, I got the Spurs in this one, man. I think Wemby ain't gonna have 2 bad games in a row. I consider his last game a bad game. You got to touch a double Wemby, and I just think the NBA wanted to go to Game 7 anyway for ratings.
Okay, what you got on this, Rob?
It's done. It's done. OKC tonight is over. It's done.
You know what, fellas? So Rob going with OKC, Mossberg, and one taking the Spurs. I said it was gonna go 7 initially. OKC has proven they can win in San Antonio. They smell blood. There's blood in the water. You got to close a team like San Antonio out, in my estimation. You can't play with your food, as they like to say. So I'm with Rob on this. I think OKC, again, they've proven they can win there. I think they figured out a formula, and they figured out, I don't think people giving them enough credit about how they figured out a way to at least containing, speaking of Wemby, outside of game 2, yeah, it was decent, but game 1, they cannot have another one of those, or this game is going 7, or this series is going 7. So I got OKC taking out the Spurs tonight in a tough matchup where they pull away in the latter part of the fourth quarter. But let's welcome up my main man, SEC Shine. How you doing tonight, my man?
What's going on? Sorry, running a little late tonight. But everything's going good. Just wanted to jump on and hit some of these topics I saw you throw out there. So,
yes, sir. We appreciate that, man. I love to see these screens on stream. So I gotta ask you, my man. Spurs are in a must-win tonight. Hold on, let me get the question up. Spurs are in a must-win tonight. Do you have OKC closing them out on the road?
No. I think San Antonio wins tonight. I think that crowd's going to be electric and kind of fuel them a little bit more and push them over the top tonight. I think OKC closes it out in the next game. But I think the Spurs get the win tonight.
So let me ask you, if it goes 7 and it's back in OKC, who do you favor?
Oklahoma City.
You got OKC if it goes 7.
I
What you say?
got OKC. I got OKC winning it. No, in the final game for sure. But I just think their playoff pedigree would help pull them through a game 7. Something the Spurs haven't really been, haven't dealt with. They're a younger team, so I think game 7 would be Oklahoma City for sure.
Okay, cool. Are all y'all of that same opinion, Rob? Who you think if it goes 7, who you got?
I still got OKC. I think they win in this series.
Rob, if it goes 7, who you taking? Or I'm sorry, Moss.
I'm still sticking with San Antonio Spurs, man. When I watch this San Antonio, not to talk too much, I think about one of the guys that's no longer with us, rest in heaven. We called him Spurs. A big San Antonio fan, Antonio Carson, man. I've been thinking about him this whole time during this series, man. He would be elated watching these guys. And I'm going with his San Antonio Spurs. I think Harper needs to get more burn. Harper get more burn. San Antonio earn their trip to the finals.
What you got? One take, Zay. If this goes 7, who you taking?
Yeah, originally I had the Spurs, man, but they go 7. It's not going. I got the Spurs winning 6, but if they got 2 games to win 1 game, so I'm going Thunder. But the experience is the biggest difference right now. Like these dudes done been there and done did this already. So you can't really weigh how much judge how much weight that experience holds right now. You seeing a lot of different type of mistakes that San Antonio is making that just the Thunder just ain't making. So and the depth is out of this world post game. You said it before the series started. Eventually that depth is going to wear them down, and that's what we're looking at really.
Man, you absolutely spitting fire on that one. I agree with all those angles, and not even just like the players. When you speak about experience, it's coaching as well. But those are some really great points. So let's move on to the next question, and I'll start with you on this one. One take, or I'm sorry, SE. Yeah, one take. Here you go. But who do you think the Knicks have a better chance of beating, Spurs or Thunder?
Man, I hope my brother's still in the chat, man. Jet Life, man. Shout out to you, man. You think I be hating on your Knicks, man? They getting swept by either team, though. Either team, they getting swept, man. I just don't see it, bro. I felt like before the Cavs and the Knicks started, I was like, whoever win this Western Conference is going to win the championship, the finals. I was like, and it's not even going to be close. So neither one for real. But the best matchup for them, they would rather take San Antonio just because of lack of experience. Neither one of them teams been in the finals. You don't want to go up against the team that's got the finals experience.
What you got on this SEC?
Yeah. Who do they have a better chance against? Neither. But if I've got to pick one, I'm going to lean straight with one take and say the Spurs. And I think that's the main reason is the experience factor. No matter what, if you're a Knicks fan, you're rooting for game 7 in this series. You're rooting for this to go to 7, to put one more game or 2 more games of wear and tear on them legs. But I agree. The Spurs would be who the Knicks should want. But I don't think it's going to matter either way.
Cool. What do you got on this, Moss?
Man, I'm not going. This is tough. When you think about this, when I seen the question, I was thinking very hard because I know we talked about it yesterday. I know we swayed towards. I was swaying towards the Spurs, but I don't know. I'm gonna say the Thunder. I think if they have a better chance against the Thunder, knowing that if they go, when you got a city like New York, they got everybody behind them, man. They chanting, they singing. I don't think they're a team that's going to come in this and lay down. So I think they have a better chance against the Thunder. Reason I say that is because Wemby, man. That 7-foot wingspan going against, I think Anthony Towns would be a difference maker. But I think the Knicks collectively is like another OKC team. They'll be hungry. They've had that team together for few years, and they want to prove a point against OKC. Whereas with San Antonio, it'll be different.
What you got on this, Rob?
Man, I see it as equal, man. I think they got. I think it's equal chance of them beating either one of them. I don't feel like one team will get them more of an issue than the other. I think there's some things that the Knicks can do against both of those teams, especially when you got a Karl Anthony Towns that can pull Big Wemby away from the basket so that he can't protect them driving lanes because he can hit that three, and I think he can do the same thing to Chet. So I feel like they got an equal chance of doing it because they got 5 guys on their starting five that can score, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes them so tough in the East in this playoffs is those teams don't necessarily have 5 guys that can score. They got a defensive guy out there that don't give them no points. Where the Knicks got 5 guys who, if you allow them to get their touches, they gonna make some shots. And I think that makes them a very dangerous team, man. And I think the Knicks equally can beat either one of them. I don't think they're gonna beat either one of them, but I think they can equally beat either one of them.
Man, y'all made some really good points. I think the Knicks have a better chance of beating the Spurs. I think, with their bigs being able to stretch the floor and shoot, I think that draws Wemby out of the paint where he can, disrupt the game defensively. And I think the Knicks will have a better chance of beating the Spurs. I think if New York matches up against OKC, I think it'll be a good series, but I think I'll take OKC in 6. Anything else on this? No?
I had a question pop up the other day that I was curious, if you don't mind me asking real quick. It's regarding the Knicks.
Go ahead.
The question came up that said, if the Knicks win the title behind Jalen Brunson, does he automatically become the greatest New York Knick ever?
Hey, my brother think Brunson is the best Knick ever already, and he's a Knick fan.
That's why, because I saw him in the chat, and I was curious because I knew I'd get a response from him on this. But I was just kind of curious. I heard it the other day, and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna bring that up if it ever gets a chance.
That's a really good question. I don't know. I mean, he definitely will be of this generation in the last how many years? I mean, the Knicks never won in my generation, so I don't even think they've been really too close to winning. So I mean, I can see that. What are y'all thoughts though, Rob?
I'm not quite ready to crown Brunson yet as the greatest Knick. I mean, I'm a huge Bernard King fan, and I know Bernard King hopped around a little bit, but Bernard King was a killer, bro. And, I mean, you got Patrick Ewing, bro. He's probably the most heralded Knick of all times. And then you got the one guy who came out there limping on the one leg in the championship series, So there's some other guys out there, man. I ain't quite ready to crown Brunson yet.
What about you, Moss?
I agree with the same names he said. I mean, it's nothing against Brunson's greatness, man. He's showing us something special. The Brunson takeover is what I'm gonna continue to call it, as we've been seeing. But I also think about Carmelo Anthony, who played in New York. Yes, he didn't win anything when it come to playoffs and things like that. When it come to being the greatest Knick ever, you got to bring this title home. Now, if he bring this title home, people could argue about it all day long, respectively. But as of right now, I'm respectively putting him in that class, but not giving him that numero uno.
Okay. What you got? One take.
Yeah, I said Melo was the best, but greatest is a different thing than best to me. So greatest, I would go Patrick Ewing right now, but Melo is the best Nick I ever seen in a New York Knicks jersey. I'm not changing that stance.
Yeah, man. There's definitely been some great players. I man, that's tough. I'll revisit this question. Me personally, on my end, I'll revisit if he gets the championship. But let's move on, man. And I'm gonna start. I'm coming back to you on this, Rob. Would you give LeBron James a max contract going into year 24? And do you believe he should take a pay cut in order to get another championship?
I would not give LeBron James a max contract in year 24. And do I believe he should take a pay cut in order to win another championship? I don't think he should do that either. I think he should go ahead and go back to Cleveland, go on a farewell tour, and go ahead and hang that thing up, man. He doesn't need to win another championship. He doesn't need to be getting max money. He need to understand that it's time for him to go ahead and go on a farewell tour. He got plenty of money, so he don't need that. And I believe he has enough championships that he need to go ahead and do his farewell tour and get up on out the way.
So let me ask you this, Rob. Uh, Do you still believe this? Now, what if he wants to play for 2 or 3 more years? Because I honestly could see him doing that if he chose to do it. Would your opinion on that change if he wanted to sign for 2 to 3 years?
I don't want LeBron James to play for 2 or 3 more years. I want him to get one more. If he wants to do that, I still I mean, I guess you got to go after a championship. If you're going to stay there that long, you might as well stay in it to win championships if you're not going to go on your farewell tour. So he should take a pay cut and go try to win him another championship so that you guys that's on this panel will start to say that LeBron James is your GOAT. Like I say, he's my GOAT.
I knew it was coming. It's all good. Mossberg, what you got? What you got on this, man?
Man, you knew it was coming. It's tough, being at this age, still doing what he's doing. You're gonna pay him whatever it takes to have him on your team. Taking a pay cut, man, it's crazy. Like I'm with agreement with Unc, man. Come back home, give us that great farewell tour, man, and leave the NBA with your greatness stamped. Still in that great era of not declining. And I think that'll be one to none. And for me, I think I've said it a couple of times, man. I think seeing Brown come home and giving us a farewell tour, he moves up in my greatness. Just doing that, I think that'll solidify a lot when it comes to this GOAT status as well.
What you got on this, SEC?
Well, we all should have known first off that we have our lovely leader up there in the middle of the screen who retired today, who gonna come in throwing shots at everybody right away. So, look, rumor is with Cleveland is they're going to give James Harden a full max extension. If they do that, LeBron's going to have to take a pay cut, or he's just going to say, I'm going to come back because I'm from there. He's going to do like that hometown discount we hear so much about. I don't know if he will. I don't know what teams are going to pay a max deal for LeBron. Great as he is, he's older. Paying somebody that much money, I mean, I don't know who's going to offer it to him. It's going to be curious to see what he does and what he wants. If he wants to play 2 to 3 more years, that's going to have an effect on it. But if Cleveland's given all this money to James Harden, which I don't agree that that's the right move either, by the way, then I think that kind of limits them on the LeBron thing based on what he wants for payment. So that's where I stand on it.
Interesting. What you got? One take.
I think LeBron has been a great ambassador to the sport. I think he don't deserve nothing less than the max. If I'm the Lakers, I don't give him the max, so he will have to find that max somewhere else. And really, you can figure out cap situations to figure things out. Sean mentioned Harden getting the max. I'm pretty sure they could figure out a sign and trade or something if they really wanted to get him to Cleveland. But I don't think he's going to play for anything. If he play for anything under the max, it's only going to be short a few million. He ain't taking a big pay cut. He done did too much for the game.
Let me ask you this, because I know you rock with the Lakers as well. Do you think, like, if he signs with the Lakers and he doesn't take a minimum contract, he takes a bigger contract, like, does that make sense? Because if you're not trying to win a championship, this is just my opinion, why go back to the Lakers?
I don't really think he playing for a chip. I think he playing for stats. And really, if he do sign back with the Lakers, if he did take the max, the Lakers might really re-sign him for a 1-year deal for the max, hoping that the Joker comes when he's an unrestricted free agent the next year. The books line up perfectly for that. You could re-sign guys like Austin Reed, and then when it come time for Joker to hit the market, we know how close him and Luka is. All you got to do is have Denver signing to the maximum contract, because you get that extra year. All you got to do is have them sign a maximum contract and then give them all your assets and then your new up and coming button star, and then they'll take that. I'm pretty sure they'll take that because they wouldn't have to start a full rebuild.
Got you. So I mean, as a Laker guy, I think it's time to move on, man. I think LeBron James could be an asset to the team, but if the goals is to win championships in LA and build the team around Luka, I don't think it makes sense to sign LeBron James back to a bigger contract if you're trying to win championships. If LeBron is trying to win a championship on his way out of the league, and it all depends on his motives, right? Like, what does he want to play for? Does he want to play for, the farewell tour? Does he want to play for another championship? Does he want to play for more stats? It all depends on what his mindset is. But I definitely think if you're the Lakers, you got to move on, man. It's just time. Any closing thoughts, fellas?
Just thinking of the business mind of Brown, I think he could definitely make everything that we talk about when it comes to money going home. Incentives, major double up. I think he gets a bigger bag if he go home. Contract is not even in the window. I think he'll definitely make $50 million and just what he does with his Nike brand and everything else, possibly if he come home. I could see it.
For sure. Let's move on, fellas. It's been a little controversy, man, and we seen the situation with Jackson Dart and the president and how that made a certain teammate feel or certain teammates feel. And me personally, like, I believe everyone should have their right to support who they want to support. Like, who y'all support politically is none of my business. It really shouldn't get interfered with anything else. That's just me though. But I want to ask y'all, and I'm gonna start with Moss on this. Should athletes keep their support of politicians private or public?
I think it's 2026. I think you should. Reason why, you know how it is today. You're gonna get judged by things, especially when you're dealing with politics. And when you're an athlete, they're waiting for any and everything to take some kind of shot, some kind of feedback to do what they do best. Just my opinion. I think they should keep it private because that could go any kind of way. That's just the scariest thing about it and a crazy thing.
Okay. What you got, SEC?
Well, I mean, we have the right to say what we want. So if they want to come out and say it, I don't have a problem with it. What I would say is it's up to that person, because no matter what you say, you support candidate A or candidate B, there's going to be backlash towards you from somebody, somewhere. So as long as you're okay with dealing with the people saying stuff or whatever, then, I mean, if you want to come out and say it publicly, that's fine. I wouldn't necessarily come out and do it if I was an athlete, but if they want to, I mean, I guess, but just know there's going to be repercussions for what you say, no matter what you say. So I'll leave it up to them to make that decision. I don't really affect me. What Jackson Dart did doesn't affect me one way or the other. I don't care if he supported Marvin the Martian for president. I don't care. I really don't. Can he throw touchdown passes? That's all I really care about.
What's that? What you got on this one take?
Yeah, I think when you a franchise quarterback, you probably should play the backgrounds. Other sports athletes, I guess it's their platform. Really, it's up to them. I can't walk in no other man's shoes, but just me personally, just thinking, like, if I was an organization and that was my brand, I would probably want my public or main figure on my team to probably play the background on that situation.
Yeah, well said. What you got on this, Rob?
Man, I feel like this, man. You can support who you want to support, and shouldn't nobody be worried about who you support. It's just your business. As long as you go out there and you ain't out there doing something crazy, okay, he's the president of the United States. He's governing everybody that's here. So whoever the politician is, it don't make me no difference, man. You support who and like who you want to like. It's your business. It ain't gonna make me like you more, like you less, or like you more. Reality is you're allowed to do what you want to do. I'm cool with it. Whether they keep it private or public, it don't make me no difference.
Yeah, y'all spot on money with this one. That's how I felt like initially. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, you would rather not the face of your franchise be in a mix of anything controversial, like politicians and politics, but they always say keep religion and politics out of things for a reason, because it can really fracture and split a locker room. But I mean, I'm in support of it. Like, if support who you want to, man. I don't care. That shouldn't make or break a relationship, in my opinion. Everybody got different views. Everybody got their own mind. They thought process of how they live life and go through life and how they want things ran. So I'm cool with that, man. Any closing thoughts? Cool. Man, we got some SEC guys on the panel, so this should be really interesting. And I'm going to jump it off with you, SEC, Mr. SEC. If the SEC only gets 2 playoff teams in this year's playoff, do you believe they will pivot and then support a 24-team playoff?
Yes. But that's not going to happen. There's not only going to be 2 SEC teams in this playoff, but going hypothetically with the question, because that's the way that's what it would take. And I know that's why you phrased it, and that's a great way to phrase that question. But if it is only 2 teams, yeah, they're going to pivot. Sidebar, if you haven't kept up with SEC meetings going on down in Destin, Florida, this is kind of already leaning that way already. So,
which part is leaning? What do you mean?
2014, the SEC pushing, going ahead and going to the 24.
They're pushing for that now.
They're leaning that way. That's what you're hearing from all the different coaches coming out. That's all being discussed behind the scenes. Mike Elko came out and said, "Let's go to 40." He said, "Because that way, I guarantee I'm in the playoff every year, and I won't ever get fired." That's just Mike Elko speak. That's why I love him. But I don't see anything happening this year. But this is the SEC has said they're going to have a decision in the fall on what they want and what they're going to stick with. So stay tuned. But if it is a 2 teams get in, then they will push for a 24, especially if the 2 teams that get in don't include the University of Texas. They'll throw enough of a fit that they'll get in.
What you got on this one take?
Yeah, man. This whole situation is crazy because everybody don't. Most of us don't. T1 want the 24. I think he the only one out of us that want 24. But Sean, I did hear that they said really 95% of the SEC people are on board with this. So it looked like it's almost inevitable. But the only thing that's holding it up is really the Big Ten, because the Big Ten never wanted to skip the step of 16 teams. The Big Ten wanted to do 16-team playoff before we hit 24 for real. You know what I mean? They wanted to do a 1 and then a 1 and then move straight to the 24 after that. But I don't know, man. This whole thing is weird. I just want to see it play out already, because really, if we go to 24, a lot of more stuff got to change. Like, I think conference realignment got to happen now. We got to figure out the championship weekend. It's a whole, but we got to figure out what we're doing with bowl games. Everything got to be remastered, like redid and remastered.
What you got on this, Rob?
I don't think that they would pivot. I think what the SEC would like to do is have some side room conversations with the Big Ten and just leave the NCAA altogether and go and form their own thing with their own rules, with their own policies, and do their own thing and bring some other teams out of the Big 12 and the ACC and form 2 super conferences, or just form one great big old conference and just have games that they play, and then they determine who makes the playoffs and all that. I think they want to get away from the NCAA altogether. So I don't think they would pivot. I don't think that they want to go to 24 realistically. I know they might be talking like that because that's what the buzz is, but I don't think if they had their way, they would rather leave the freaking NCAA altogether and say, hey, y'all, let's go form our own thing and let the NCAA do whatever they want to do. Because right now, they're just kicking the can down the road. They're trying to put the genie back in the bottle, but the genie is already out.
Well said. What you got on this, Moss?
Wow, I think he explained it as good enough for me to understand it even more. When you think about this SEC, I think this is something that they've been trying to do for years. I think, yeah, they would try to pivot to support the 24, but thinking about that, I think, want their own conference to where they can pretty much control everything with all the issues that the NCAA is already having. I think the SEC, knowing the weight that they carry, like you said, I agree that they'll try to do something like that. I'm, in support of the 24-team playoff. I think I like it, show some teams that can definitely play, but I think, like he said, it's just a great point, and I think that's what the SEC overall wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, if the SEC somehow, some way only got 2 teams in this year's playoffs, they definitely would pivot and support 24. Or maybe even what Rob said, who knows, man? The future is definitely not certain in college football. Any closing thoughts on this? Before I get into this question, I want to ask y'all, because I saw this before we went live. I'll start with you on this, Rob. Just real quick. Who do you think, what team do you think is under the most pressure to win a championship this season? I'll start with Rob.
Texas.
Texas?
Yep.
What you got, Moss? You on mute.
That's kind of a tough question. My bad. That's a really good question. I think it's kind of equal. Texas, Notre Dame. I even say Ohio State. With what they've brought in, I think those 3 teams, definitely, man. I think you could put all 3 of those teams there. Definitely Texas. Probably people would choose over both, but I'm putting all 3 of them there.
Go ahead, SEC.
I was going Texas, Notre Dame. Those would be my two picks. Texas first, Notre Dame would be the second pressure, but that's where I was leaning.
What about you, Zay? One take. You there? No. What about how much pressure is Clemson under to win this year?
I don't think Clemson's under pressure to win a title.
Yeah,
I think that's a different. Yeah, them. I mean, you want to talk about who's under the most pressure to have a winning and a really, really good season is going to be Clemson, Alabama. Both of them.
Go ahead, Moss.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what I was about to say. Both of those teams, and when you think about it, when you mention Clemson, you know, I can't not put my Florida State Seminoles in there, having a winning season. You think of the ACC, Clemson and Florida State. You know, Miami have been holding their own, doing what they do. And when you think of the SEC, you think of both of them teams. SEC, you think of Alabama. So I agree with SEC China as well. I mean, those are teams that have to get a winning season to change even this prestige in their program, in my opinion.
Yeah. What about you, Rob?
Alabama, I would take Alabama right behind Texas, man. I think they got more pressure on them than Notre Dame. I mean, Notre Dame was just there 2 years ago, so their fan base know that they're close. Alabama hasn't even smelled it since Nick Saban left, so I know it's a hell of pressure on them.
Say, you got anything?
Yeah, Notre Dame is not on that list for me. I think that fan base is buzzing. I think they all love what Marcus Freeman is doing out there, and I know they got a roster that's so built that everybody feel like it's built to win right now. But even if he didn't do it this year, I don't think they will be calling for his seat. But like Rob said, he know his horns, man. This might be a do or die season for Sark, man. I just don't see no other way around it because you got all this money that's getting infused into the program. You keep getting close. You've been close to winning the SEC since you've really been out there. I think it's time to put up or shut up for Texas. And Bama is my next one too. Like we can see if you don't have a really good year this year, I could see Bama going into a black hole and curling up. For real. Like it's enough money and enough different teams in the SEC down south to where Bama could be an afterthought to me. So them is my two programs.
Rob, you don't think Oregon is under any kind of pressure?
I mean, they might have some pressure, but I don't think it's a lot because Dan Lanning has been able to do things that no one else has really been able to do. I know Chip Kelly got them there, but Chip Kelly would have down years, man. And so I think Dan Lanning is right now he's fine because he has the likes of Indiana and Ohio State in his conference to where they already know that those two teams, at least Indiana recently, Ohio State forever. So they still, I think everybody out there feels like Ohio State is still the leader of the Big Ten. And so long as they're the big coaches, it's not going to be as much pressure on Oregon, in my opinion.
Got you. Yeah, I mean, it's the most pressure to win a championship. I mean, I would have to say Texas. I would have to say Sark is under the pressure, and that's not even saying like they would let him go if he doesn't. But I think the pressure is there. They want some big. Everything's bigger in Texas, right? Well, they want some big results. So I would have to lean towards Texas if you asking about championship. I think Notre Dame is under pressure because of the expectations of the fan base, but I don't think it's the type of pressure where if Marcus Freeman doesn't win, then he's in trouble or anything. Marcus Freeman, when it comes to fighting Irish football, is the best thing since sliced bread. But let's
Can I give you one more real quick?
Go ahead.
Just to get your thoughts on it, because of the amount of money and everything that happened with it. Is LSU under pressure to maybe just get to the title?
You said who?
LSU.
Yeah, not year one for me. You know,
Not
year
necessarily
one.
to win the title, but is there any pressure for him to, get them back into that 10, 11 win mark?
No.
I don't even think it's necessarily the win number. I think they just want to see a shift in, how competitive the team look. Does the offense look like the offense was so bad last year? I feel like they brought Lane there for that reason, and we already know they're gonna get players. So that defense should be good. I thought that defense was good last year. I think they just want to see a change, just throughout the team and the program. I think they just wanted a different feel for the program for real. So not year one.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I don't think there's buzz with what Lane has been able to do in the portal. And, they got such a sour taste in their mouth from the Brian Kelly era that I think they're willing to let him do what he needs to do. And whether that looks like, 7-5, 8-4, or 12-0, I think they're patient. They're willing to let him do what he needs to do to get that program back up to par. Anybody else got any thoughts on this?
I actually think LSU. I think he's under some pressure. I think he got to get them to the SEC championship this first or second year. Just my opinion. You taking
Really?
over a big program, you make a lot of moves coming to LSU, and just think you left a sour taste in the mouth of Ole Miss. I think that adds to the pressure and what he has to do in LSU these first few years. We haven't really been able to answer that championship call, and he's been making quite a few moves in his coaching days. So I think he's under all the pressure as well.
What you think on this, Rob?
LSU,
Yep.
not in year one. Not in year one. I mean, there is some pressure because you got to get that program turned around. But I think as long as Alabama is not up and going for championships, they got a little bit of leeway in LSU. There is some pressure, but not the kind of pressure that we see on Texas and on some of them other pro in Alabama. So yeah, not as much, but they got some.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Let's move on, man. And I thought this was interesting. I read this somewhere where starting in 2027, the SEC will no longer schedule late season lower tier schools, aka cupcakes. Good or bad for the SEC, I'll say, instead of sports. And we'll start it off with one take.
Thank God, SEC. I'm proud of y'all, man. Y'all coming to the big boy table, man. We've been waiting for this. We don't want to see y'all playing Tennessee Institution of Technology in Week 10. We don't want to see it. It's bad for the sport. This is wonderful, man.
What you got, SEC?
I like it. I mean, there's been a lot talked about, but yeah, I mean, I get why it's there. I get why they did it for so long, but this will be the last year of it, mainly because starting next year, even with the 9-game schedule, they'll be able to work 2 bye weeks in. One reason they left it ride this week is because they only have the 1 bye week. So that's why. But I don't have a problem with it. I like it. To be honest with you, I liked 2020, not for what 2020 was, by the way, but I liked the all-conference 10-game schedule. I loved that schedule when we played that back in 2020. I thought it was phenomenal every week. So not that that'll ever happen again, but I like getting away from it and just playing the big banger games at the end of the season.
What you got, Moss?
I think it's my bad. I think it's great. I like it. I think it, SEC, they're trying to do a lot to change, and we just, that kind of goes with what you just asked before, I think this shows that they're trying to make things happen and make that shift as well. When you put opponents that's lesser tier, you're trying to strengthen that schedule later in the year. That way, there's no questions whether it's 2 losses, 3 losses, at that juncture in the season. And we know how tough the SEC is, regardless of which week you play. You got to come out, you got to have that helmet on, and you got to be ready.
What you got, Rob?
I think it's bad. Listen, man, you got a grueling SEC schedule. I think it's brilliant to schedule a cupcake game week 10 to let your guys get some rest or to play a game to get you ready and get your guys back on track. I think it was brilliant for the SEC to do that. Now you're going to force their hand and they're going to not be able to play a cupcake game in week 10. Listen, everybody else played their cupcake game in week 1, 2, or 3. Why can't the SEC play theirs on the 10th game? I think it's dumb. I think it's bad. And you tell the rest of them conferences, be smart about it. Be smart about it.
What you got, Moss? All right, Moss, you
Nah, I
already
was just, I'm already with. I was just laughing at it, man. That's that SEC for you. That's it.
Rob makes a good point, man. He does make a good point. The SEC is known for that brutal in conference run with the teams they got down there, and I don't see late season maybe get to sit a couple of key guys, or at worst in the second half. So I mean that's a good point, man. I mean I gotta give it to him. Any closing thoughts on that?
That was a terrible point because the Big Ten been asking for an SEC matchup within conferences where like teams play each other every year, and they ducking it. We're trying to prove it on the field that y'all are not the better conference, and y'all don't want to do it because y'all know y'all's depth is going to get exposed. Because when our Iowa goes up against y'all's Missouri, the outcome is going to be simple. The Big Ten team is going to win.
SEC, Rob, yo.
Iowa lost to Iowa State 2 years in a row, and
I didn't think Iowa State was an SEC team.
Well, what I'm trying to tell you is, if Iowa State can beat Iowa, Missouri can too.
That's not true. That's a rivalry game. That's not true. That's a different type of energy matchup. That's a different type of thing.
Hey, listen.
I've been saying it all along. Go ahead, Rob.
Go ahead.
In week 10, the other conferences should have some bangers in week 10 so the SEC ain't got to carry every week.
Hey, check the numbers, man. Check the numbers. Y'all like to move the goalposts. Yeah, y'all like to move the goalposts and say bowl games don't matter. It don't matter. It would matter if y'all was winning them, right?
Nope. I've said bowl games don't matter for years. But I will say, moving the goalposts, you want to talk numbers. I mean, I will say 38% of all college football games watched were SEC games last year.
That's fine. Play us.
We will. I don't have a problem. I told you I want an ACC Big Ten. I told you I wanted an SEC Big Ten challenge. We got one in basketball. They do stuff in baseball. Why can't we do it in football? I have no problem with it.
Last time I checked, we played Michigan, Ohio State, then we're going to Michigan next year. Dude, don't tell us the SEC don't schedule them bum-ass Big Ten schools.
You talking about one school on a whole, a majority. Y'all, the conference don't want to play us. The conference do not want to play us.
I'm gonna say this real quick. I like what I'm hearing. I'm gonna just say the Big Ten 4-0 in the college playoff in the last few years when it mattered most versus the SEC. I think that's where, I don't know. I just had to put that in there, but I'm gonna leave it alone and let y'all do what y'all do, man. This is good. It's interesting.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Let's move to our final question of the night. We appreciate everybody tuning in, everybody rocking with us. We appreciate y'all greatly for hitting the like button and subscribing to the channels you see scrolling down below. But let's get into this last question. And I'll start with you on this, Rob. What do you think will be Brandon Sorsby's ultimate fate?
Brandon Sorsby gets to sit on his couch and watch college football for 12, 13 straight weeks, then the playoffs, then bowl games, because he will not be playing this year. That's his fate. He will not play college football ever again.
What's up, Moss?
There's no other way around it other than what he said. I think it's just that you can't mess around, especially in today's game, especially when it's your own school. I think he definitely would be a couch potato, making the DVR famous this season.
One take, what you got?
Yeah, it's over. It's over for Brandon. Yeah, it's over for Sorsby, man. You know, I'm cool with the courts handling. I didn't think he needed to be suspended the whole year, but I'm cool with the decision.
But I think they were appealing, right?
His appeal, I mean, yeah, they are appealing, but you know, the initial thing that they denied it. You feel me? Typically, when something get denied, you know, I told y'all they had an unbiased judge. So the dude that was originally on the case, he was from Lubbock. He went to Texas Tech. He recused himself. So we got an unbiased judgment. So I'm thinking the next judge gonna be unbiased and uphold the decision too. But I don't know. I think they got it right.
Okay, what you got, SEC?
Yeah, I think he's out for the year. I honestly believe that they're trying to push to get this done so he can probably enter the supplemental draft for the NFL. Why they want it by June 22nd. I believe that's the date that it has to be all done by. I like it for the integrity of the sport. As a fan of the sport, if you made me, I'd have two sides. I'd love to see him back because if he got a 6-game suspension, he'd be back for Texas Tech at Cincinnati. And that would just be phenomenal cinema. But
see,
he doesn't need to play.
Yeah. I mean, I think they did right. They did right with him. But if he's able to appeal and only get a 6-game ban, nobody sees that happening. Like everybody thinks he's done. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can go 6 games post. Seriously. I think if you go 6 games, you've just opened a whole nother can of worms.
So it's a wrap. Everybody agrees it's over with. Okay.
Yeah, 6 games is not a lesson learned. If they just do that, that just means the next person gonna do it in a whole different manner, and they gonna take advantage of it more. It's gonna be a whole group, whole team at that point.
6 games.
Yeah.
So it's a wrap for Mr. Sorsby. Man, I appreciate y'all, gang, man. Y'all came through and held it down like y'all always do, man. Great takes, man. I love picking y'all brains on these here subjects. To the chat, to the people tuning in, we appreciate y'all greatly. Go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channels you see scrolling below. We appreciate y'all to the fullest. And as we end, we want to send y'all peace.
Peace. Have a good evening.
Low post, mid post, high post, post game sports.